Tommy and Chucky are watching a movie of a giant ant from outer space at Tommy's house. Stu then mutes the TV, knowing that the movie is inappropriate for 1 and 2-year-old children. Just then, the doorbell rings. Stu answers the door, and a delivery boy has a telegram for him. Stu asks the delivery boy if it's a singing telegram, but the delivery boy tells him it isn't. Stu tells the delivery boy he never had a telegram before, and as Tommy and Chucky walk towards him, he asks the delivery man if he could sing the telegram for him. The delivery boy decides to do just that, and as Dee Dee and Lou walk up to Stu, he tells him he gets asked the question a lot. In his telegram, the delivery boy explains to the Pickles family that Aunt Miriam is coming to visit them this weekend, and is looking forward to seeing them, especially her grandnephew, Tommy. After he finishes his telegram, he holds out his hand, expecting a tip, but Stu shuts the door on him. Dee Dee tells Stu that she hasn't seen Miriam since their wedding day, and tells him what a sweet woman she is. Lou is outraged when he hears this and tells Dee Dee that Miriam had been the bane of his existence for 76 years. Dee Dee is shocked at what Lou said, and Lou tells her what he said is true. He then tells her that he doesn't want to spend 2 minutes, let alone 2 days, with Miriam. Stu runs up the stairs to try to get him to reconsider. As they walk back into the living room, Chucky asks Tommy why Lou is so upset. Tommy tells him he isn't sure, but it sounds like he has something to do with an ant. He then sees a giant alien ant movie on TV, and Chucky asks Tommy if he meant a giant ant is coming, and Tommy tells him he hopes not. As Dee Dee dusts the house for Miriam's arrival, Tommy and Chucky hide behind a potted plant. Lou walks down the stairs with his suitcases, while Stu tries to convince him to stay. Lou tells him that if Miriam's moving in, he's moving out, and he'll stay at the Motel Sticks out by the interstate for the night. Stu tells Lou that he's heard bad things about the Motel Sticks, but Lou replies that the Motel Sticks has cable and it doesn't have Miriam. Dee Dee then walks up to Lou and tells him that he's staying at Tommy's house whether he likes it or not. That makes him go up the stairs. Tommy and Chucky witness the event as Lou tells Dee Dee she can't treat him the way he's a grown man. Dee Dee then tells Lou if that's how he feels, he can put his things in Tommy's bedroom, as they're letting Miriam stay in his. Lou is outraged when he hears this. Down the stairs, Chucky tells Tommy that Miriam must be scary, and Tommy agrees as he's never seen Lou so angry before. Chucky asks Tommy what they're going to do about Miriam, and Tommy tells him that maybe Miriam isn't bad as Lou lets on. They hold on to each other just in case he's wrong. Meanwhile, Miriam drives her car at a high speed and knocks over a pair of trash cans. She passes by a dog who runs away in fear. Tommy and Chucky look out the window as Miriam parks her car on the lawn. Dee Dee hears this and says Miriam must have arrived. As she and Stu go outside, Tommy and Chucky look at each other, realizing Miriam has arrived. Outside, Stu struggles to open Miriam's car door, and when he does go get it open, he asks her if she's all right. Miriam tells him yes and no, and she had her hip replaced last summer, but she still can't find a doctor who'll do anything about her lumbago. She then looks over Stu and tells him that he never did fill out. She asks Dee Dee if she's feeding him and calls her Dolly. Dee Dee corrects Miriam, and Miriam tells her if it appears that she's eating all right, much to Dee Dee's annoyance. Miriam then tells Stu they should go look inside to see his son. Tommy looks out the front door and says to Chucky that Miriam must have been the ant. Chucky tells Tommy that Miriam doesn't look much like an ant and that she looks more like a person. Tommy tells Chucky that Miriam might be from outer space like the ant in the movie. Miriam comes into the house and explains to Stu and Dee Dee that they have 2 kids. As she reaches down to grab Tommy and Chucky, they scream and run away in fear. Dee Dee is shocked when she sees this and says to Miriam that Tommy is usually so good with strangers. Lou then tells Dee Dee, strangers is one thing, it's family you got to watch out for. Miriam asks Lou if it's really him, and Lou tells her it ain't the Pope. Miriam hasn't seen Lou in years and tells him he's a sight for sore eyes and hugs him, much to Lou's annoyance. Tommy and Chucky peer out from the kitchen and visualize Miriam as an ant trying to attack Lou. Miriam tells Lou he's her favorite cousin, and when they were little, they were as thick as thieves. Lou then tells Miriam that, as he recalls, she was the only thief and as she stole all his toys. Miriam thinks Lou is joking and tells him he's a card. Dee Dee then calls Tommy and Chucky over, telling them it's time to meet Miriam, and she pushes them towards her. Miriam calls Dee Dee Sally, and once again, Dee Dee corrects her. Miriam then picks up Chucky and kisses him. She says that she loves his red hair, freckles, and buck teeth. Dee Dee explains to her that Chucky isn't their son, rather he is just visiting. She then introduces Miriam to Tommy. Miriam tells Dee Dee that Tommy looks just like both Lou and Stu did when they were his age. She then tells Dee Dee that's the Pickles woman who get all the looks and calls her Kelly. Dee Dee laughs nervously, then corrects her yet again. She then tells Tommy and Chucky it's time for them to get in the playpen. Stu tells Miriam that he'll show her to her room. Miriam thanks Stu and tells him that it's nice of him to do so for her. She then says she hopes she isn't putting anyone out. Lou scoffs as he hears this. In the playpen, Tommy is playing with his ball and he tells Chucky that Miriam is sure is scary, as she smells funny and has blue hair. Chucky then tells Tommy about how she kissed him. Tommy says that he understands why Grandpa doesn't like Miriam. Chucky comments that Stu and Dee Dee certainly like her. Maybe she's nice. Tommy tells Chucky he may be right, but there's only one way for them to be sure about it. Chucky then knows that Tommy has an idea, and he isn't sure it's such a good one. Tommy tells Chucky his idea is to go up into Miriam's room and look at her stuff, see if she really is a bad ant from outer space. Chucky tries to talk Tommy out of it, but Tommy assures him it's the only way as he tosses his stacking rings in the air, revealing its screwdriver underneath. Tommy uses his screwdriver to get out of the playpen, and he and Chucky watch from the doorway as Dee Dee and Miriam are preparing for dinner in the kitchen. Miriam calls Dee Dee Ginny and asks her when she's going to give up teaching to become a full-time mother. Annoyed, Dee Dee corrects Miriam once more and puts a bowl of mashed potatoes out of the refrigerator. Miriam sniffs them and asks if she should put more garlic in them. Tommy and Chucky crawl past Lou, who is sitting in his chair, telling Stu about the time Miriam took his favorite ball and threw it over the fence into the neighbor's yard when they were kids. He tells Stu that Miriam's a monster, but Stu doesn't believe him. Tommy and Chucky reach the stairs, and Tommy tells Chucky that all they have to do now is get to the top. Just then, the doorbell rings. Stu answers it and is on his way over. On his way over, he asks Tommy and Chucky what they're doing out of the playpen. Drew and Angelica are at the front door, and Stu says hello to them. Angelica's carried a bouquet of flowers and tells Stu she brought the flowers for Miriam. As she walks inside, she tells Stu that Miriam isn't just her aunt, she's her great aunt once removed. Lou overhears this and figures that if Miriam can be removed once, she certainly can be removed again. Miriam sees Angelica with the flowers, telling her they were a thoughtful gift, and they hug each other. Miriam asks Angelica if she isn't just the sweetest, and Tommy and Chucky, witnessing this from behind the stairs, shake their heads no in unison. Dee Dee calls the family over for dinner. At the dinner table, Tommy feeds some of his mashed potatoes to Spike. Miriam tells Dee Dee the roast is delicious, but wishes she had taken her advice on the mashed potatoes and scrapes them off her plate as she calls her Fifi. Dee Dee corrects her once more, and Angelica scrapes her mashed potatoes off her plate as well. Miriam then tells Dee Dee that Lou was always making mischief as a baby, including the time he opened her window in the middle of the night and got her sick. She asks Lou if he remembers the time, and Lou angrily tells her he did no such thing. In fact, she got the story reversed. She was the one who opened his window and got him sick. Miriam tells Dee Dee that Lou's memory must be fading, as the Pickles men have always been a little off. Angelica then tells Miriam to tell her another story about when she and Lou were kids. Miriam tells Angelica that she's just a dolly and hugs her, then tells Drew that he has a wonderful daughter, as Angelica is so smart, polite, and well-behaved. Tommy, realizing this isn't true, looks back and forth at Angelica and Miriam, as Miriam tells Drew that Angelica reminds her a lot of someone she knows. She then says that Angelica is a lot like her. Tommy knows that much is true, but Lou is shocked when he hears this. Tommy and Chucky look at each other and gulp nervously. That night, Lou tries to sleep in Tommy's bedroom, but has a nightmare about the time Miriam took his favorite ball and tossed over the fence into the neighbor's yard. Tommy and Chucky witness this from Tommy's crib. Tommy then asks Chucky if he's ready. Despite Chucky telling him he isn't, Tommy decides to sneak out anyway. He pulls the screwdriver out of his diaper and uses it to open the crib. He and Chucky sneak out and overhear Aunt Miriam listening to the radio as she exercises. She then decides to use the bathroom and shuts off the radio. She takes off her wig and puts it on Lou's bowling trophy. As she walks out of Lou's bedroom, Tommy and Chucky sneak in. Tommy climbs onto Lou's dresser and turns on the radio, which plays a broadcast that says, "You will take over. Nothing will stop you." Tommy hears this and tells Chucky that Miriam must be getting messages from outer space. Chucky then points to Miriam's hairdryer on Lou's bed, and Tommy thinks it's a space blaster. Chucky then points out Miriam's wig on Lou's bowling trophy and tells Tommy it's not on Miriam's head. Miriam comes back into Lou's room and asks Tommy and Chucky what they're doing in it. Tommy and Chucky scream and run away in fear. Miriam walks up to Lou, who thinks he's in World War II, and the Colonel is waking him up. Miriam tells Lou that Tommy and Chucky are gone, and Lou realizes this is an emergency. As Tommy and Chucky go down the stairs, Miriam tells Lou that she doesn't understand why Tommy and Chucky would run away from her, as she's usually so good with kids. Lou tells Miriam he doesn't believe her. Miriam tells Lou it's true, as when they were growing up, he adored her. As they walk down the stairs, Lou expresses his true feelings towards Miriam, telling her that he was terrified of her, as she stole his toys, got him in trouble, and constantly threatened to pound the living daylights out of him. As Lou looks in the hallway for the babies, Miriam tells Lou that she had no idea he felt so scared of her, and that she doesn't know what to say about it. As he looks under the table, he tells Miriam not to say anything and just help find Tommy and Chucky. Lou looks behind the TV, behind the curtains, and even in a drawer. Miriam then explains to Lou that the only reason she bullied him when they were kids because she was jealous of him. As Lou opens a closet, he asks Miriam if that's really true. Miriam tells him it's true, and as Lou looks into the closet, he finds what looks like Tommy and Chucky. When he picks them up, they are revealed to be a globe and a feather duster. As he does this, Miriam asks Lou if he remembers the time he got stuck in a big hole in his mom's garden, and the two kids used to play with, Bill and Jill, pulled him out. Lou tells her he does. Miriam then tells Lou the time they wouldn't have done that for her, as everyone liked Lou. As Lou looks in the kitchen, he tells Miriam that everyone at least respected her. Miriam tells him they didn't, and they were afraid of her. She then tells Lou that he was the leader, and since she was the older cousin, she was jealous of him. Lou looks in the stove and tells Miriam he never knew she felt jealous of him. Miriam then hugs him, and he hugs her back. Tommy and Chucky witness this from under the table, and Lou tells Miriam that she always has been his favorite cousin. Miriam then tells Lou she was his only cousin. Lou tells Miriam that is much true, and they both laugh together. Tommy and Chucky run out from under the table, realizing they don't have to be afraid of Miriam anymore. Lou tells Miriam they've come to see her, and she hugs them both. The next morning, Miriam kisses Tommy goodbye. As Stu loads Miriam's luggage into the car, Dee Dee asks Miriam if she can stay for a few more days. Miriam tells Dee Dee that she can put her and her family out long enough. As she gets in the car, Lou tells her that he hasn't had so much fun in years. Miriam says goodbye to Lou and his family and drives out of the driveway, knocking over a potted plant in the process. As Miriam drives her car down the road, Angelica waves to her and runs into the road until Drew pulls her back to safety. Lou tells Stu and Dee Dee that it's nice to make new friends, even ones you've known for 76 years. Stu tells Dee Dee that he's going to miss Miriam, and tells her that Miriam's a great aunt, but picks up Miriam's habit of misnaming her and calls her Fifi. Dee Dee gets defensive and angrily corrects him.